is a CFMA, Construction Financial Management Association's podcast featuring conversations with our members. I'm your host, Kate Platt, CFMA's marketing manager. This month, I'm joined by one of Crow's partners with a specialty in taxes and tech, Rhonda Huismann. Rhonda is a CCIFP, an active member of the Western Michigan chapter and their former treasurer and current secretary on CFMA's Executive Officers Board. Hi, Rhonda, welcome.
Kate, hi, great being here and thanks for having me.
Thanks for making time for us. So let's, get into this and start off with, how did you get into this line of work?
Oh boy, I am one of those unique individuals that figured out I wanted to go into accounting back in high school. And actually, it probably was influenced a little bit by the fact that I had an older sister, 4 years older than me, and was going through college at the time to go into an accounting career. And so kind of followed in her footsteps a little bit, I suppose. Stuck that through college and then started with Crow on that point. When I started with Crow, I actually had the fortune of working on construction clients. And so I right away got involved with the construction industry as well. So that's kind of the course of how I got started.
Nice. So right after college, you joined Crow. How did you get involved with CFMA?
So being that I was in their construction group, the partner that I worked with actually was one of the charter members of the CFMA chapter in West Michigan. And so I believe I was maybe a couple years into my career, and there was a 10-year anniversary for the chapter that they were having a casino night. And so I was asked if I would volunteer to help work the different casino tables that evening. And was just really impressed with the group. It was such a fun group. And I'm like, how can I get involved with this? And so then I was given the opportunity and joined CFMA. And right after that in 2000, we had that opportunity to join and haven't looked back. It's been a great experience being a part of the organization all these years.
And you've really taken advantage of everything. You've worked your way up from chapter to the exec board. So definitely getting involved there.
It's been a wonderful journey, that's for sure.
So can you tell me about a favorite project that you've worked on at any point in your career that you look back and say, wow, so happy I got to be a part of this?
Yes, I would say that in my career, I've been so fortunate. I've been given so many opportunities to work on so many just great projects and things that were probably a little beyond and a stretch for me, and had so much trust put into me, knowing that if I if I failed, that there was plenty of people there in our organization to pick me up and dust me off and get me back at it again. But so I've been very fortunate in my career to do that. But I would say that about 7 years ago, there was a little bit of a turn in my path and the opportunity to get involved in our technology area and create a tax technology solution for the construction industry. So it was a service and things that we were doing in Excel for our construction clients previously, and had the opportunity to really build that into a software. And at that point in time, before that, I wouldn't have said I was a creative or innovative person. But since then, it's just really been a fun and exciting part of what I get to do, both for the construction industry and then just from a career opportunity. It's been amazing. And I know you had Victor Sturgis on. He was a part of the team and part of that group that helped create that software too. So he had a little bit of a similar path with me in terms of that. But I would say for both of us, and for me in particular, it really sparked a passion around innovation and technology. It opened my eyes to just that the ideas in your head that can come to fruition. And so currently I'm working on a new project also for the construction industry, so excited to roll that out here in the coming months. But that's probably been the biggest turning point for me, because it was something I would have never envisioned myself being a part of.
So definitely you took a chance and found a new avenue for you to explore.
Absolutely. And, those I think are the rewarding things in life, really, is when you're willing to kind of step out of your comfort zone and take a little bit of a risk and have fun with it and see what can happen.
If you're interested in learning more about this Crow project, check out episode 5 of Voices of CFMA with Victor Sturgis, cfma.org/podcast. And now a message from our sponsor.
Profix Software centralizes all your financial data, including ERP, CRM, HR, estimating, and project management for a complete view of company performance. Contact Profix to learn how we can help better manage your project's cash forecasting, WIP reporting, margin fade, and equipment utilization.
And now back to our interview with Rhonda. So you've had an interesting career. You've sampled a couple different industries within construction, taxes, technology. You're flexing your creative skills. What is the best piece of advice that you've been given, that's really helped shape your career?
Sure. I think the best piece of advice that I received was one of my mentors and partners I worked for early on. Really, I was probably maybe just a few years into my career, and it was really to just be your authentic self and be you and bring what you bring to the table. And back at that point in time, so I started in public accounting almost 24 years ago. It was a year out of women having to wear they couldn't wear pantsuits, they had to wear skirt suits at that point in time. And so it was a heavily male dominated industry, and to get that kind of advice, I was hearing many of my peers in different organizations and different industries that were in the corporate world being told to kind of shed some of their female traits, if you will, and become more like their male counterparts. And it was really refreshing, and I'm so grateful for that, because I think they recognized that there was women and diversity. I mean, the whole DE&I that we face now, it just wasn't that much of a focus or a focus at all back then. And to have that kind of advice early on, where I could maneuver through my career and remember that I bring a unique perspective, and that they needed women and they needed others in leadership and having that voice. And that's really when you bring your best self, right? Is when you're bringing your true self. And so to find an organization where you can thrive and advocate for what's important to you and what is important for those that work with you. And so I'd say that that's probably the biggest thing, is being able to have that advice early on, and then to maneuver and say, I've seen too many times where people leave an organization or leave an industry or leave an opportunity because they don't like something. And instead of coming at that and saying, this is who I am and this is how I feel about this and this is what I need to make it work, they move on to a different organization or another opportunity, and potentially are kind of running from that same thing instead of just addressing it head on, because it's something that's important to you and who you are. And so I think that it's really just, I'm a lifer at Crow, because I think that advice really helped me to maneuver through some of the challenges that careers can throw at you, because of that early advice of just saying, stay true to who you are and what's important to you.
Absolutely. And you're a lifer at Crow, but you're not a stagnant lifer, so that's always a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a fun, all the twists and turns of your career are always fun to experience.
Absolutely. And what advice do you have for someone new to this industry?
Absolutely. If they're obviously here listening to CFMA, they have some connections, so they've done something right already. I would say get involved, and both in CFMA, but in other parts of your organization or community. But CFMA has been just a wonderful opportunity. I think they embrace and provide so much value to members. But I can tell you the learning opportunities and growth opportunities that I've experienced through the different leadership roles, whether it be I was chapter treasurer for, as I think you mentioned, for 6 years. And so having that opportunity and then getting involved in the national level and being chair of the conference planning committee and getting involved in different levels there, and then ultimately on the executive committee. But mentoring and some of the other programs that are offered, it's just such an amazing thing. But you have to take that step forward, and you have to just get out there, and it might be getting out of your comfort zone, right? And but stepping out, and CFMA just embraces its members and volunteers in such a wonderful way. And you'll grow so much and have such wonderful opportunity. And then I guess the other part of that is pay it forward, mentoring others and helping others along the path. And I know we've done we've had fun passing on the treasurer role to others as they've come through our team and with CFMA. And so it's just fun to be able to pay that forward as well. So I guess get involved and then pay those things forward.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great advice, because you know what, you keep saying, take that first step forward, and it may seem scary, but there's 8,300 CFMs waiting to catch you. So you're in good hands, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that kind of ties into innovation too. So step out and be willing to take those little ideas, and whether it's within CFMA or within your organization, a small idea could really be a big idea, and it just seems small to you, but to others or to the organization or the industry overall, it might be something that's much more impactful than you think.
Well, Rhonda, this brings us to the end of our interview, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and sharing your story. We really appreciate it. And is there any final things you wanted to add before we head out for the day?
No, I just again want to thank you. I think this was a lot of fun being here today, so I appreciate that and opportunity to be here and be part of the podcast. And just really, it's wonderful that we've added these podcasts. I think it's a fun way for people to get to know the different individuals involved with CFMA.
Thanks for listening. If you're looking to learn more about getting involved at CFMA, check out cfma.org/volunteer. And make sure you join us in August for CCIFP month, when we sit down with Pat Siebelak, Chairman of the Certification Board of Trustees. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on social media. And if you're interested in learning more about the Construction Financial Management Association, check out cfma.org. Until next month.